Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 7th, 2023. This is Rajiv S. Khanna from immigration.com, the law offices of Rajiv S. Khanna, PC. And this is our bi-weekly, actually we do it every Thursday now, every Thursday call for the community. Once we do it on LinkedIn audio and once on our private bridge, which is this bridge right here. All the questions that we answer are subject to the disclaimers you heard when you logged into the call. Okay. I'm going to go over, first of all, the frequently asked questions that are already posted. After that, I will go over the regular questions that are already posted. Each time I answer any question, I will invite follow-up questions, not new questions at that point. Once we are done with all the posted information, if time permits, I will answer new questions as best as I can. Okay. With that, let us get started. I'm going to go over the questions I have marked as frequently asked questions. The first question is, do Canadian citizens need US visas? So Canadian citizenship and F1 visa. Canadian citizens need, as far as I remember, only two kinds of visas. E visas and K as in fiancé visas. Okay. Otherwise, H1B, F1, L1, not only you don't need a visa, you cannot even get a visa. If you go to the consulate and say, Mr. US Consulate, give us a visa, they will turn you away because under the law, Canadian citizens are not required to have a visa, including an F1 visa. Okay. But your problem is a little different. The posted question presents the problem. Can I get the F1 student visa stamped on the Indian passport as long as the Canadian passport will take some time to process? I think you can check with the consulate. This is a very odd situation. You can check with the consulate. The law, as I would understand it or recommend it, would suggest that the moment you take the oath, that's the way it is in USA. I don't know how it is in Canada, but the moment you take the oath of naturalization, you no longer are a citizen of any country other than Canada. Unless Canada, US, well, actually, India doesn't permit dual citizenship. So you can't really be a citizen of India once you take the oath. So that's what I think will happen. You may have to look for ways to get your passport done more quickly, pay out the emergency fees or whatever you have to pay. But I think you should be able to enter the United States with a Canadian passport and I-20 without a visa. Okay, a visa should not be required for Canadian citizens. If there is any follow-up question on what I just discussed, press *5, please. Press *5 on your phone if there's a follow-up question. All right. A similar question was asked about, what if I'm a permanent resident of Canada? Do I have any special way of getting work authorization or any kind of green card, etc. in the United States? And the answer is no. A Canadian immigrant has no benefit over anybody else. But once you become a Canadian citizen, then a bunch of new options open up. For example, you can get a treaty trader, treaty investor type visa, E1, E2. You can get a TN visa. And you can, for most visas, you don't, most visa categories, you don't actually need a visa stamp. You can enter the United States as a Canadian citizen without a visa. Other than the E visas and K visas, visas like F1, tourist, you don't really need a visa. You just come to the border or to the airport, okay, with your Canadian passport. So that's the way it works. But being a permanent resident of Canada gives you no advantage in the United States. Press *5 if you have a follow-up question on this. No new questions, only follow-up questions. All right. go on to the next question. This is a very lengthy discussion. I'm not sure I have the time to read all through this. The question is choosing between change of status and consular processing L1 to H1B. So I have been in the country for 9 months on L1B. H1B is filed, same employer, got selected. I want to take advantage of the interview waiver option for Dropbox. Do both methods, change of status and consular processing, qualify for Dropbox? So if your question is, if I do change of status, can I still get Dropbox when I travel for a visa? Yes, definitely. The answer is that is true. That's the way it works. Then my wife has recently joined her new workplace. We understand that if we opt for the change of status method, she will not be able to continue with her employment due to change of status from L2 to H4. What are some of the risks involved in consular processing? We also plan to visit India. What is my expert suggestion? Well, I'm not going to go over the dates. That's a little too complicated. Bottom line is this. If you want to immediately convert to a status, for example, from L2 to H1B, then change of status makes sense. But if for whatever reason you want to continue working on L1 and your wife on L2, you can postpone the trigger date of your H1B by opting for consular processing, which postpones the start date to when you go get visa stamp. Now remember one thing, you can always change status also later on. It's like refiling the H1B but no lottery issues. So let's say you selected consular processing for L2 or L1 to H1B, and then 6 months later you decided, you know what, I don't want to travel, I want to convert to H1B within USA. You can do that and you would not be subject to the lottery. So I don't know if this helps you, but that's the way it would work. I see somebody's hand is up. Oh yeah, that's the person who posted. Yeah, go ahead, sir. You were asking something about the question you have posted, area code 832.
Yes.
Texas?
Yes,
Yeah.
Rajiv. Hi, this is Bhavik. I posted the question.
Gigi.
You have answered my question to the most part.
Right.
I just have one follow-up question.
Sure.
Is there a way I can follow the sequence mentioned now, like proceed with H1B petition in consular processing before October 1st, then initiate the POM processing followed by the green card petition while I'm on L1B?
Sure.
And once I get an I-140 approved,
sure,
then I can change of status and get it converted here. So that way I can save, reduce the amount of time my wife has to be in unauthorized status by a great deal.
Yeah, I think so. I don't see any problem with that idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all I was confused for. I was not sure if the hybrid option is available. I thought it was only either change of status or the consular processing.
No, we can do it both ways.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right. Next frequently asked question. Yeah, this is another one that comes up quite a lot. You know, when you are preparing for the birth certificates, in any of the USCIS applications, what is the role of the affidavits, DNA tests, and what are the timing considerations? So the question that is being asked is, if there are issues like errors in name, spelling, etc., is it better to wait until the application is processed and an RFE is sent to us? It is better to prepare affidavits. Yeah, I like to prepare affidavits explaining discrepancies when I file the application, unless I think it's going to take too long to get these things resolved and I'm in a hurry to file the application. So normally I like to resolve these issues and not wait to get an RFE. Okay. So yeah, normally that's what I do. Will USCIS accept affidavits by relatives prepared in the past before the RFE was sent? Yeah, they should be able to. Yeah, or you could send it with the main package. Yeah, look, you can always prepare ahead of time, But if the RFE raises new issues, you would have to cover them. That does not mean for some reason that the affidavits that you prepared 3 months earlier are going to become a problem. I don't think so. If the affidavits were too old, 1 or 2 or 3 years old, then I might have my doubts. But remember, let's say that you have an issue with the spelling, name spelling, and you got an affidavit or two explaining that, and then RFE raised that issue along with the second issue. You simply provide the supplementary documentation. The documentation that you already provided doesn't go defunct just because the government asked other questions. Okay. How about the DNA test to prove relationships? So normally, the way we do it, and I don't remember the exact regulatory requirements, the way we do it, we only prepare for a DNA test if we have no other option. Okay, because it's a little expensive. I don't know exactly how much it costs, but we wait until the government asks the questions before we start supplying. But I haven't looked at the regulations. I suspect that there's nothing in law that should stop you from, I'm trying to think, because if you submit the DNA test with the application, there's no way to connect the application. And I could be wrong about this. I'm just trying to remember the procedure. The procedure usually is I file the case, whatever the case is, I get a receipt number, right? And then if there's an RFE, I contact the DNA testing facility, and if my family is in India and I'm in USA, they will conduct a DNA test for me here and for my mom, let's say in India. And then they'll send the results directly to the USCIS with the receipt number. That's what ties together. If you send in the application before, send in the DNA test before, I'm not sure how it would work. How would they connect the two? I'm sure there may be a way to do it, but I haven't really looked into this ever. Is it possible? It may be possible. Is it advisable? Up to you. I think it's just as easy to wait until there's an RFE. *5. If you have a follow-up question on this, press *5. Oh, I want to add one more thing. One very common problem with non-English speaking countries' names is this. There is always a phonetic spelling. So for example, my name is Rajiv. In Hindi or in Punjabi, it is written differently. It's written Rajiv. There's no error. There's no room for argument. But when you convert it to English, you can spell it R-A-J-I-V like I do. You can spell it R-A-J-E-E-V, R-A-J-I-V-E, R-A-J-E-E-V-E. So there's so many ways to spell the same name. So normally I alert the government that this is a phonetic conversion. It's a conversion of the sound, not of the exact alphabet, because Hindi alphabet is not on a one-to-one correspondence with English alphabet. We work differently. So these are usually easily handled problems. Okay. Since nobody had a question on this, I'll go on to the next question. Another frequently asked question. Another frequently asked question is, H-1B approved after the lottery, can we change employers? Multiple employers in H-1B lotteries. Okay, so these are a bunch of questions. I think there was something else related to the same issue further down. Paystub requirement for H-1B transfer eligibility, is it mandatory? So let me cover all three of these issues. First is H-1B approved after the lottery, can we change employers? So lottery is done, my H-1B is approved. When can I change employer? Can I change an employer before October 1st? My answer to that is, nobody knows the exact answer, but in our own experience, in our own office, we have transferred cases even before October 1st. So your H-1B gets approved, let's say in August, and in August you want to change employers, you can change. You don't need a pay stub from that other employer. At least I haven't seen it in experience. In writing, it doesn't occur. There is no answer from the USCIS on this. But in practice, I have seen this being not a problem. Okay. So that's the number one thing. You can actually transfer your visa, your H-1B, even before October 1st. However, one requirement is, and this is clear, government has said that, government has written it down. If your October 1st is revoked by the sponsoring employer, if your H-1B is revoked by the sponsoring employer before October 1st, then you are gone. Then no amount of transfers are going to help you. Even the transfer that is already done probably is not effective any longer. So the key here is your H-1B sponsoring employer should not revoke your H-1B before October 1st. They can do it effective October 2nd. You should be okay. Okay. So the other question was about, do I need to have pay stubs? And obviously in this case you won't have any pay stubs because you never joined that employer, and I think that's fine. What if you joined the employer and you left the following day on October 1st itself without a paycheck, you just wanted to get another job? I think that's okay, and if you don't have a pay stub, that's okay as well. Okay. So multiple employers. Now, as I have said this many times before, I'll say it again. Multiple employers are not illegal unless they are connected with each other in some manner, or they are trying to collude, come together and conspire to increase your chances in the lottery. That's not allowed. Okay. So multiple employers is not the problem. Press *5 on your phone if you have a follow-up question on this. Please press *5. Okay, area code 203. I think that is Connecticut. 203. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, Rajiv, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So basically, my H1 unemployment grace period counter stops if I get the transfer receipt from the USCIS, or usually when does it stop?
The counter stops when the USCIS receives. You may want to mute yourself. There's an echo. Yeah. So the counter stops when USCIS receives your completed proper application. They might issue a receipt 2 or 3 days later, but actually the counter stops when they receive the application. Okay. Got it? You are on mute. If you...
Yeah, sure. Like basically, when the transfer has been initiated and they have received the application, our counter stops, right?
That's right. And actually, if you had been maintaining status prior to the 60-day grace period and you are already on H-1B, you can start working as soon as the receipt is issued. Okay. You got it, sir? Okay, I don't know what's going on with your phone. Good luck to you, sir. Okay. Next question. Is there another frequently asked question? Yeah. Okay, we already covered this pay stub requirement for H-1B transfer. And then, here is another one. Delays in marriage-based immigrant visa processing, expedite options. So this question says, somebody has their hand up, area code 714. I'm not sure what this is about. It's California. Yeah, California, did you have a question about something I've said? California, area code 714. Okay, not sure what's going on. I will put the hand down. Back to the question at hand. My son-in-law was interviewed at the US consulate in Frankfurt in May 23 for a marriage-based immigrant visa. They requested his CV with traveling detail for further processing. The case has been in admin processing for well over 90 days. Number one, is there anything that can be done to expedite the process? Almost always the answer is no. Expedites at the consulate are extremely rare. He has traveled to the US on a B1, B2 4 times before. Is there any problem traveling again while his case is in admin processing? And the answer is probably not. Okay. So I have found as a practical matter, yes, he can be turned away at the airport saying, wait for your green card. But usually the Customs and Border Protection at the airport is not that mean to spouses of US citizens. To mitigate the hassle of traveling all the way to USA and then getting turned around, your son-in-law can clear immigration at Dublin Airport. So that must be just like an hour or two flight. Just instead of coming all the way to USA, buy your ticket and fly from Dublin Airport. Your immigration clearance, US immigration clearance, will be at the Dublin Airport. So that makes sense to me. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5. All right, no follow-up question. Somebody has their hand up from area code 313, Michigan. Michigan, how can I help you? Area code 313. Hello? Not sure what's going on. Putting the hand down. Going on to see if there are any other frequently asked questions. There are not. Okay, let's go to the regular questions that were posted. So let's see which ones have we left. We did this. Choosing between change of status and consular processing, by mistake I did that one as well. This one is also done. This one is done. Time frame for receiving H1B receipt after selection in second lottery. If H1B was selected in the second lottery, under master's quota, it is filed regular processing. Is there an estimated time frame for receiving an H1 receipt? Yashaswini ji, I do not know. Our team would know. They are the ones who keep track of the front end. I am the back end guy. I just take care of the law and the strategy. So I can't really tell you. I don't know. I would guess 4 to 8 weeks, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Any follow-up question on this? Press *5. There is one follow-up question back to Michigan. Michigan, I can hear you. Michigan, go ahead. Area code 313. Nope, I can't hear you. Let me make sure this call is working okay. Give me 1 second. Hey guys, can you hear me okay, everyone? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, there's something wrong with the phone call. Let me just log out and log back in, okay? It appears like there's something wrong with the bridge. I will call back in, drop the call and come back in. 1 second.
Welcome to the Community Conference Center of Immigration.com, the law offices of Rajiv Askhana, PC. Please note, all calls are recorded and made available publicly, so you may want to conceal your identity and disguise the facts of your case. By participating in these calls, we are not establishing an attorney-client relationship. The accuracy of the information provided here cannot be guaranteed, and this is not a substitute for an in-depth consultation. Thank you for this opportunity to serve you. There are 9 parties in the conference. You are a host.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay, guys?
Yes, now we can, Mr. Rajiv.
Oh, okay. I think something went weird. All right. I think a lot of people had to drop off. So, all right. We are back again. Let me resume the conversation.
The conference is now in presentation mode.
Okay. Now, going back to what we were talking about, there was somebody who had their hand up. If you are still here, press *5. Okay, this is area code 313. Let's try again. Michigan, go ahead, please. Michigan.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good too. I just had a quick question for you, and I just needed your guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Canadian citizen, and I work in a US-based healthcare IT company from Canada since past 3 years. And my company said that they will not provide me any sponsorship. They will only give me my offer letter and any other documents. So I just wanted to know which visa would work best for me, as I do not have a bachelor's degree. I only have a diploma from Canada.
Okay. Well, this question is not really related to what I was talking about. But let me caution everyone. Please don't ask me unrelated questions until I ask for your questions. In your case, I'll make an exception because you probably don't know my rules. So anyone else, please don't raise your hand until
sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. When you don't know, you don't know. It's all right. So don't ask me any unrelated questions. I'll ask for unrelated questions at the end when I have time. Okay? So please wait for that time. Now, even if you wanted to come to the United States, even as a Canadian citizen, you would need support from the employer. Even a TN visa requires support from the employer. They have to write a cover letter. They have to describe basically the job that they are offering you. And most of the TN jobs require a degree. There are a few who don't require a degree, but those are looked upon with great deal of scrutiny. For example, business consultant is one title that doesn't require a degree, but it requires 5 years of experience in the field. So generally speaking, those are the constraints, ma'am. Okay? That's it.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I
Thank
know.
you.
That's fine. Area code 714. Guys, if you have your hands up about new questions, put them down now, please. Press *5 again. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. I am going to put everybody's hand down. Okay, put your hands down, please. Okay, don't do anything. Let me do it. Let me put everybody's hands down. Right. Now, I put everybody's hand down. Let's see. If you have a question related to what I've just discussed, raise your hand. Otherwise, keep it down. It's not time to start new questions now, okay? So please press *5 only if you have a related question. All right. Now comes time frame. We talked about that. Not quite sure. Asylum cases I don't do. I'm sorry. I've done only one asylum in my life in 1993 as a favor to someone. This question we've answered. And then there is a question about H-1B visa stamping, unemployment transfers, and immigration. H-1B picked up in the second lottery. Law firm has filed the case, opted for premium, might be approved by 12th September. Questions. Can I be unemployed when I go for my H-1B visa stamping if I lose my job? No, you cannot be. They will decline your H-1B, yes. You shouldn't even apply for an H-1B. That might be considered quote-unquote inappropriate, almost like a fraud. So don't even get into that. Also, when I travel back to USA from India without a job, don't travel back. That is illegal. Can another company file for H-1B transfer without my H-1B stamping? Yes. I already talked about it. Listen to the recording. Today I have discussed this in detail. Can I switch job before 1st October? Already discussed all of this. Okay. So in the frequently asked questions, you will find all these answers. Just listen to the recording. *5, if you have a follow-up question on this, you can ask a follow-up question on what I discussed. *5. All right. Let's go on to the next question. We already dealt with this. Then the next question is immigration status and I-485 denial with H-1B and job changes. If I have two-part question. If I entered USA on advance parole, however, I'm using H-1 from job perspective and from my wife, if my I-485 is denied, does it mean I'm out of status? No, so the way it works is, your question is basically saying, if I enter USA using my advance parole, but I have never used my EAD, my H-1B is still active and I'm coming back to resume my H-1B job, you are still considered to be on H-1B even though you entered using advance parole. Okay. If my I-485 is denied, does that mean I'm out of status? I don't think so. I'll have to double check the law on this because that's the whole point of allowing you to resume your H-1B even though you entered on advance parole. Please have this double checked, but my guess would be you would still be considered to be on H-1B. Second question is, if employer A filed I-485 and along with EB3 I-140 downgrade, I-140 was approved in 2012. I changed jobs in December 2021. New employer filed I-485J. My old employer got RFE in Feb 23 asking for company financials. They withdrew my I-140. Do you think I-485 will be reinstated? This is a difficult question for me to guess. Okay. On the one hand, you have covered the 180 days required for AC-21. On the other hand, if the initial approval of the I-140 was in error, they're not going to let you keep that case. Difficult case to save, but might be worth litigating. You know what, let me just close the conference so that I can make sure everybody who's here, their questions are answered. Give me 1 second.
The conference is now locked.
Excellent. So everybody who's here, I'll make sure I can answer your questions today. Any follow-up on this that I just answered? Press *5. Okay. Next question is multiple visa concerns, H-1B stamping, B-1, B-2, entry timing. He's a return customer, he says. I've just got my H-1B visa stamped in UK. Very good. Currently out of US. My status will change from F1 to H-1B on 1st of October. I'm planning to get a B1, B2 from London. Is it okay to have multiple visas? No. Technically, if I remember the standard operating procedures correctly, the consulate is supposed to cancel all existing visas before they consider an application for a new visa. However, as a practical matter, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. I don't think you should be applying for a B1, B2 after an H1B. As I'm working remotely, I'm planning to be back in the States in Jan 24. Is it safer to enter late? Or should I enter on my H1B first, then exit for my year-end plans? You should talk to your lawyers. I've talked about this before in other calls. We had people join in even after 1 year of H1B approval. As long as there is a good explanation, as long as the job is still being held for you, you should be okay to come anytime. Just make sure you have your detailed description written in a letter to present to the CBP if they ask for it. We must explain why you're coming so late, okay? *5 if you have a follow-up question on this. Press *5. Next question, transitioning from H1B to B2, considerations and documentation. I'm currently on H1B, visa stamp expires September 30th, 797A approved till September 30th, 26. Employer has also applied for green card with I-140 approved and should reach 180 days later this month. So I-140 is already approved. Employer has applied for green card. I guess you are saying 485. If you are here, press star 5. I want to ask that question. Has your 485 been filed? Okay, well, I'm assuming it has been filed. I guess that's what you are saying. I want to leave my current job, take some time off before I apply for a job. Can I apply for 539 and switch to B2 visa? So, sir, it depends, or sir or ma'am, if your I-485 is already filed, you do not need to convert to a B2 visa. You can stay in the US just because your I-140 is approved, 485 has been filed and has been pending 180 days. Okay, so I guess you're talking about I-140 180 days, not 485. But if your 485 is not filed, you can try switching to a B2. The I-140 can be a problem technically, but it has been my experience that government has often not created a problem with an approved I-140. Not always true, but remember, while the B2 is pending, even if there's an RFE or questions asked, you can continue to stay in the US until the B2 is actually denied, and then you can leave after that, you know. So as a practical matter, it still might work out. Press star 5 on your phone if you have a question. Press star 5, any related question. Area code 714, which is California. California, go ahead, please. California, go ahead. Oh, I hope you guys can hear me. Hello. Wow. Don't know.
Can you hear me, Mr. Rajiv?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was on mute, and thank you for taking my question.
Of course.
So on the similar lines, I have a question, but I'm a different person asking this question.
No worries.
I am on currently H1B visa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on currently on H1B visa with an expiration date of September 30th, end of this month.
Okay.
And my employer has laid me off, and September 8th, which is like tomorrow, is the last day, the termination date.
Achha ji.
My I-94 expires on 10th of October.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, what is the best course of action for me in terms of a change of visa status?
Achha, let me grab some water. I've been talking for quite some time. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
I'm losing my voice. We talk so much.
True.
But that's the job, right? Okay, so let's look at your situation. First of all, you always get the lesser of the two times, 60 days or the time remaining on your I-94. Okay, because your I-94 is expiring in October, you will get that time, not 60 days. Okay, first thing.
Right.
Second thing, I think applying for a B2 is not a bad idea. If you rather would apply for a B2 and stay in the United States, I think that's a good idea in my opinion. Okay. Now, if you want to know how to apply for a B2, what kind of documents to send, what letter to write, you can go to my blog on immigration.com. If you go to immigration.com, on the top ribbon is my blog. And the first or the second entry is about applying for a B1, B2 or a B2 when you are on 60-day grace period. Okay. And it explains to you everything that you need to do. If you still have questions, come back and ask me next Thursday. Okay.
All right. And yeah, if I apply for a B1, B2 and it's still in the pending state, can I stay in the US or do I have to?
Yes. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of applying, that you don't become unlawfully present. Because while the B1, B2 is pending or B2 is pending, you can continue to stay in the US until it is declined. If it is not declined, they'll give you 6 months anyway.
Got it. And I can continue looking for H1B jobs.
Absolutely. You can even apply for an H1B job
And
while the B2 is still pending. The only downside is once the H1B is approved again, you will have to go get a visa stamp. You can go to Mexico or someplace and come back. No problem. All right.
Got it. Yes, Mr. Rajiv. One last doubt I have, out of the B1 and B2, which one? Should it be B2 or the B1? Sorry, I'm not.
We usually say B1/B2. But if you go to my blog, I think it tells you exactly what to file. Oh, one thing I want to alert you. I keep forgetting to add this on my blog. At least until last month, people were telling me, Rajiv, when we file the form electronically, there is no place, there is no drop down selection for an H1B. What is your current status? H1B. There's no such selection. They have H1B1. So I said, you know what? If you don't have a choice, just select H1B1, and in the cover letter that you are writing, also add. You can put a screenshot saying this is all the choices I have, so I'm just selecting H1B1. My real status is H1B.
Got it.
Okay. If you do electronically, of course you can do it by mail also. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv.
You are welcome, ma'am. Okay. Next question is traveling abroad during STEM OPT. So what I did was, you asked me this question, and I have posted a link to my blog entry where I have described all the options for travel while you're on STEM, OPT, STEM OPT, OPT, or H1B processing. Okay. So please read through that, and I think all the questions should be answered. If you still have a question, call me back. Okay. Then the next question is visa options for traveling abroad. We have one more question after this, and then I'll take new questions. Visa options for traveling abroad, H1B, H4, and other visas. I'm from India, and I have been in the US since 2013. I entered in US on B1, B2 visa, got it transferred to F1. I usually don't like these transfers. I recently finished my bachelor's. I'm on OPT. I've not gone back to India. I'm worried about my chances. Yeah, I'm worried about your chances too. Which visa category can boost my chances? H1B or H4? Yeah. I think H1B and H4, and I would recommend that you get it from a nearby country. Try it from Mexico or Canada. Canada takes too long. Mexico probably is better. But be prepared to answer questions about your B to F conversion. So what I would recommend is have a detailed consultation with the lawyer. Discuss your case. Make sure that the B to F problem will not raise its head. So hopefully it will be okay. All right. *5, Ashish, if you have any follow-up question. Or anybody who has a follow-up question on this, press *5. Okay. I think there are two more questions. CSPA. So the CSPA, I think again I have not looked into this issue for a while, but I am aware that the consular interpretation, at least until last month, used to be different than the USCIS interpretation. So the rules appear to be different. I wanted to know your final thoughts on ensuring a dependent child is included within the new CSPA guidelines for EB1 for India-born parents. There's been a lot of speculation. The new CSPA policy states that for AOS within the country, the dates for filing will be when the child's age is frozen. Yes, that is correct. However, it does not mention what dates consulates may use. So that's not a decision made by the consulates. That decision, if you are inside the United States, USCIS decides whether you are going to use the dates of filing, or you are going to use the final action dates. Okay, and USCIS cannot tell the consulate to use a particular date. I mean, they have no dominion over the consulates. If a child would age out via consular processing, does this form a basis to sue the government? I think so. Because we've had this in the past. When two agencies, for example, Department of Labor and USCIS, had different interpretations of the same law, I think that's a good ground for suing. If a child were to stay in the US to file AOS, they would not be able to travel until the AP is approved, unless they have an H4 visa stamping. So get their H4 visa stamping done. Yeah, but you're right. They cannot travel. Okay. So anyhow, I hope that covers the questions, what I've just discussed. Press *5 if you have a follow-up question on this. Press *5. Okay. This is from area code 678, which is Georgia. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry, Rajiv. I thought you said you have taken the new questions. Actually, I posted my question here for my son-in-law.
I already answered.
For delay for the administrative processes.
I've already answered that question. So listen to the recording. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've already
okay.
answered.
Yeah, because there was some mute for that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye. And the last question is, I don't know how to answer this question because this is all nonsense as far as I can tell. I mean, people put all these headlines which have actually no meaning or no basis in law. All priority dates are current. Everyone can apply for green card. August 2023. A letter by congressman means nothing. They have no control over these deadlines. These are all clickbaits from what I can tell. This is all nonsense. Please don't bring me these without verifying them. They're such, how do I can't answer this question. This is all nonsense. A news of a case where USCIS I-485 approved without a current priority date. Yeah, there are at least 1,000 plus cases like this, and these are all mistakes. If the government catches their own mistake, even at the naturalization stage, they will revoke your green card. Yeah, there's no way to get the I-485 application faster. Okay, so yeah, I really don't want to comment about this. This is such silliness. I don't know what to say. Okay, so yeah, I think we are done. Anyone has any question, press *5, please. Anyone has any question, press *5. And oh, there's only 4 people only. Okay, that's easy. Let's start with Arizona. 1 second, let me find you. Area code 602. 602, go ahead, please. What is your question?
Yeah, good afternoon, Rajiv, sir. So my question, well, it's actually a concern that was raised from your last event, so I just wanted to ask this on the call.
Mm-hmm.
So I am currently on F1,
Mm-hmm.
and I have done my bachelor's in computer science engineering. I've done a master's MBA previously from India and Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have done a master's in business analytics.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated last year. I'm on STEM OPT.
Okay.
And I'm working in a company for more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And now my title has changed to a business analyst role, Salesforce business analyst.
Mm-hmm.
And currently I got picked for the second round of H1B lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're filing the petition.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have this concern that was raised in the last event that, business analyst being a generic title.
No.
And
No.
based on your bachelor.
Not business analyst. Data science, data scientist, data analyst, these are generic titles. Okay. But business analyst actually maps to systems analyst. What does a systems analyst do? A systems analyst is the guy who does all the requirements. Okay. He goes in and he says, okay, what are your processes? He documents the processes. What is the problem we are trying to solve? He documents the problem. Might do use cases. Okay. Might do some flow charting of what needs to happen. Okay. So this is the guy who does the requirement gathering. In addition to that, they might do some system design as well. In addition to that, they might help with QA. This job is fairly safe, if that's your job. Okay. So, but the title business analyst can be many things in many different companies. But if your job as a business analyst is to do requirement gathering, system design, QA, you're okay.
So that is also part. It's called Salesforce business analyst.
Well, I know what a Salesforce. I know what
ecosystem.
Yeah, I know what Salesforce is. I've been dealing with Salesforce cases for 25 years.
And
yeah.
So it's been 3 months since I moved to this new role within the same company. Before that, I was in a sales operations consultant role, mostly analytical work. It flows through Salesforce as well. So I was just reviewing the job responsibilities with the lawyers and the HR. Wanted to know if there's any edit required. So I specifically asked for these kinds of things to be put because I did a master's in business analytics and I'm working on metrics, reports, and all.
Don't do that. Let your lawyers, along with your manager, decide. Because remember, you cannot change the job description without changing the job itself. So in other words, I can't put down something on paper which is not true in fact. However, I can change the job I offer you. So my recommendation, sir, would be to go with a title that is the closest to systems analyst. Okay? And a business analyst is...
I have not changed the title. It's just that...
No, don't need to change the title. You don't need to change the title. You just need to map it to systems analyst job description. Okay?
Okay. I just added something so that's sorry. It's all reviewed by everyone. So
well, hopefully, most lawyers, most of us who've been working for a while, we understand technology almost as well as we understand law. So don't worry. Unless the lawyers are newbies, you should be okay. All right?
No, they're quite aware.
Yeah. So then that's all
right.
I need.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Let's go to Texas, area code 469. 1 second. Let me find you. 469. After that, we only have 2 more questions left, so we are good. Okay. Area code 469. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Rajiv, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay. So I am on F1 student visa currently. I graduated from MBA last year.
Okay.
Currently on STEM OPT.
Okay.
My H1B was picked in the first round of lottery this year.
Okay.
But I got laid off from the company on June 26th.
Okay.
In June.
Okay.
So immediately 2 weeks after, company filed for H1B withdrawal.
Okay.
But in the meantime, my H1B was already approved sometime in July.
Okay.
And the company's law firm now filed for H1B withdrawal with the USCIS sometime in August.
Okay.
Given that H1B is already approved and it would kick in starting October 1st, and my EAD, STEM EAD is actually valid until May of 2025, and I'm currently using up my unemployment days to look for a new job. What would be my status starting October 1st?
When does your OPT EAD, when does your STEM OPT expire?
May 2025.
Okay. So first of all, I don't think you are losing any time, unemployment time, because what happens is when the H1B is applied with a change of status, the USCIS computer system talks to the Sept system, which is where your service is, and it says, you know what, this student is applying for a change of status, so convert her I-20 to cap I-20. You're not on OPT, you're on cap. Okay? So that's a different kind of system altogether. Now, because a request has been made to withdraw the H1B before the change of status occurs, which is October 1st, you should be okay. Okay? Because the request has been made in August to withdraw the H1B. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Now,
so my concern is because I'm currently using up my unemployment days, assuming that I am still on STEM EAD status.
I don't think you are. You can double check with your DSO. I think you are on cap. I don't think you are using up any unemployment days, but you can double check. The way it works is, the moment your H1B is revoked, the system will update that in Sept. You can contact your DSO, they can do a data fix and reactivate your service, putting you back in STEM OPT.
Okay.
Okay.
And during this period, am I eligible to stay in the US?
I believe so. That is my opinion. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, and
Now,
then say before September 30th, I am able.
Hang on. Here is what I want you to do. I want you to contact USCIS customer service and tell them that you don't want a change of status. In fact, even the employer has revoked the case. You want it put in the record that you requested not to be a part of this change of status. And you want, if possible, some evidence that the case has been revoked so you can reinstate your service. Do this. They're probably not going to they're not going to be able to help you, but you try it anyway. Because tomorrow, if there's a lawsuit or something, I want you to be able to show what you did. So number one, call USCIS customer service. Tell them your H-1B is being revoked. In any case, you are not interested in a change of status. You want to go back to your student status. Please withdraw my change of status request. Okay. They are going to say, well, it's the employer's application, and say, I want proof of having withdrawn so I can reinstate my service. Number one thing I want you to do. Number two thing what I want you to do is open a case with USCIS Ombudsman. You know what Ombudsman is?
No.
Okay, it's like in India, heard the term Lokpal?
Yes.
Yeah, so in English, Lokpal is Ombudsman. Ombudsman is a watch body or a body that watches over USCIS operations. And if USCIS operations are causing a system problem, they try to resolve those problems. So you tell the government, tell the Ombudsman, write down the spelling. O, M as in Mary, B as in boy, U, Ombud, D as in doctor, Ombud, O-M-B-U-D, then the letter S, and then man as in man, woman. Ombudsman. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Just what you do is, just in the search engine, type USCIS Ombudsman complaint. The moment you do that, you'll be able to pop up a complaint section. You tell them what the problem is. Tell them I don't want to have change of status, even though the employer has withdrawn my H1. I can't do anything with it because I don't have proof of it. Without proof, I can't do reinstatement of my my service. Please help me. This is an emergency situation. You can mark it as an emergency. Okay, that's the second thing I want you to do.
Got it, sir.
Third thing I want you to do is to contact your DSO and explain the problem. Ask them what they suggest. Fourth thing I want you to do is again do a search for SEVP, SEVP contact. They have a phone number, 703 phone number. You contact that number. They're pretty helpful. Explain to them the problem, that I want my service to be reinstated. Can you please tell me what I need to do? Can you reinstate it because I've asked for a withdrawal? So they're not going to be able to help you, but you must do it so that you have all the bases covered in case tomorrow there's a litigation on this. Okay. So three things.
So
Three things, USCIS, Ombudsman, and SEVP along with your DSO. Go ahead now.
Okay, sir. So I have already notified my DSO about the situation.
Right.
They mentioned something similar. Until they receive the withdrawal copy or proof that it has been withdrawn, they are not able to do anything.
Yeah.
And with USCIS, what they tell me is that they are not able to contact or give out information to the applicant directly. They will only be able to share it with employer or petitioner.
So you can open an ombudsman trouble ticket, and the last thing another thing you can do is contact the local congressman. Tell them that you are a student who lives in their neighborhood to please help. I have an immigration problem, please help. They help you free of cost. Why not? Okay.
Okay.
How do you figure out who's your congressman?
So is there
How do you figure out who is your congressman? You go to congress.gov website, congress.gov, and in the right hand side there is extreme right hand side panel, there is who is your congressman. You click, put your zip code, they tell you, they'll give you 2 names. One will be senator, one will be House of Representative member. Contact anyone, preferably a Democrat. Republicans are not much help. Okay?
Okay.
Do that.
Okay, sir.
Good luck.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, 2 more people left. Let's see. This one is area code 714, California. Yeah, California, go ahead, please. California, 714, they're both California.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
So, Mr. Rajiv, this is Namrata here again. I just asked you this question for a B1, B2 because my H1B is expiring.
Achha.
I also wanted to check, is H4 a good option? H4 because my husband is on H1B and his I-140 is approved. So is H4 a better option or a B1B?
Yeah, I think H4 is a better option for you.
Okay, and is it good that we start the process now because September 30th is the expiration date for the H1B?
Oh yes, absolutely. Start it now. They're gonna if
Okay,
you are able
is
to, if you are by any miracle able to get an H1B in process, you can always withdraw your H4, so it's not a problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but after September 30th, then filing an H1 doesn't protect you. The H4 pending H4 protects you.
Okay, got it. And while being on H4 pending, can I apply for H4 EAD or should I wait until it is approved?
You can do H4 EAD in one package. Sure.
Oh,
all right.
H4 EAD.
Yep.
Got. Yeah.
Good luck, ma'am.
All right, sure. And Mr. Rajiv, which visa is better, finding jobs in H1B or the H4 EAD for us?
That's an impossible question to answer. It depends upon the employer what they are looking for. I mean, either way, they have to wait until you are able to get your H1B processed. So I don't think there is one choice over the other. Of course, if you have an EAD in hand, life becomes a lot easier.
Okay.
Okay.
And for H4, is it an online form I fill or do I go through your blog to see what is the
I think it's the same form. Double check. It's the same form, electronic form I-539. Double check that it can work for H4 because I don't keep track of all these little details. But it can be done electronically or you can do it by mail if you're in any doubt. Okay.
Got it.
Good luck, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm a little... Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm a little late for my next call, but that's okay. Go ahead, Columbus. I will answer your question and then we'll be done for the day. Columbus, Ohio, go ahead.
Right. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rajiv ji, for taking time for my question. I'll try to make it quick. I'm currently on F2. My wife is pursuing.
Hang on. Don't make it quick. You waited so long. I'll answer your question. Take your time.
Appreciate that. So my wife is pursuing an MBA and she is on F1. I'm on F2.
Achha.
My question is that I have a private limited company back in India, which we do all the filing, we maintain the compliance, but it's not actively generating any business.
Okay.
Can I open a US subsidiary as a F2, being on F2 visa, and generate business from a firm back in India?
I think it's illegal.
And do I need to leave the country?
No. I think it's illegal. देखो ऐसा है, as far as opening a company is concerned, that's not a problem. If you want to pick up the phone and call, for example, Delaware Corporations Authority and say that, okay, I want to incorporate a company, you can do it over the phone. Opening a company is not a problem. Doing business is the problem. Okay?
Right.
So if you open a company and then you go back to India and say, I'll run the business from over there, that's fine. Sitting on US soil, you should not be doing that business. Okay?
Right. And just on follow up on this one, so if I go exit the country, work for 1 year outside, then after 1 year I can apply for L1 way via my own company. Is that correct?
इतना आसान नहीं है, sir. It's not that easy. Because L1 for smaller companies is extremely difficult. We have a lot of problems. Not impossible. I mean, some cases go through without any issue. I have one case that got denied. We actually had a lawsuit filed. We are just going to refile the L1. So smaller companies have, and these guys have invested almost $800,000 already, which is crazy. But smaller companies have difficult times. So especially a company that is inactive for so long, unless you have huge growth in your company, anything less than 30-40 employees may be an issue.
Okay.
Not that simple.
And lastly, because of and because I'm on F2, I read it on USCIS website. There's something known as economic hardship clause. Is it possible for me to explore that? I know F2 doesn't technically allow you to work, but if I file for that economic hardship.
I've never heard of F2 economic hardship. F1 economic hardship, yes, but F2, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Share the link with me. I'll take a quick look at it. My email is help@immigration.com. I have never heard of F2 hardship economic necessity EAD. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I have just never heard of it. So if you see it and it's from a legitimate US website, email it to me. I'll take a look at it. Okay.
Sorry, I missed your email address.
My email is very easy. Help, HELP, help@immigration.com.
Right. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anytime. Good luck. Good luck. All right, ladies and gentlemen, great to be with you all, and I'll see you next Thursday on LinkedIn. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rajiv.